Hello and welcome to the As Yet Untitled Podcast. I'm Toni.
And I am Shaun.
And today we are talking about our favourite video games. Would you like to get us straight away started right into it?
No.
Don't, then.
I guess. I'm definitely going to miss some great games on my list. Just because I've played a lot of great games. And there's going to be a lot of people unhappy with, me missing certain games.
Yeah.
But, deal with it. I'm just choosing the ones, personally, that have had the biggest impact on me and are the most, memorable in my life so far.
That's how I've kind of approached this as well. And I know that ours are going to be quite different because I have quite a lot of, family video games. But that's because I'm the youngest of 4. So I didn't
only play games when everyone else was also playing them.
Yeah, not much opportunity to just play a game console by myself because I didn't have one, and there was never any time or space for me to do so with all of my other siblings.
Whereas I am an only child, so I sat in my room playing games a lot as a kid.
Nice.
Shall we quickly just mention what consoles we've owned before we
Sure.
go into it?
Well, currently we have our PS4 and our Switch, which are the main ones that we use at the moment, which is
Yeah, and I
nice.
use my PC as well, but I don't really do that much gaming on that.
Yeah, mostly used for work.
And music and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. But some games.
I did have the Super Nintendo, or the Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
I had that, I remember that. Nintendo DS.
Yep, I had a Nintendo DS as well. That's one of the things I put the most amount of time into on a console.
The other PlayStation consoles. I've had every PlayStation console.
Wow.
So
I had a PlayStation 1 and a PlayStation 2, but I never had a PlayStation 3.
I had a PlayStation 3.
Got well close to the microphone then.
I did.
I had a PlayStation 3.
Yeah, I had the PS3 because I think it was my brother's, and he got something else, and I just...
It was passed down to you.
Yeah, I just got it, and I hardly played it, but I had it.
Yeah. See, around the time that PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 came out and was very popular, I kind of went away from games and started hanging out with people a lot more and going out a lot more and doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I played a lot less games. But I played PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 a lot. I played Game Boy a lot as well. I had the Game Boy Advance SP. That was really good. Played loads of games on that.
I didn't have a Game Boy. I find it quite weird that I didn't. I just managed to miss that, I guess.
Yeah, so I started off early playing a lot of games as a kid. Playing a lot of games on the PlayStation 1, a lot on the PS2, a lot on the Game Boy, a lot on the DS. And then I kind of skipped the PS3 and Xbox 360. I played a lot of Xbox 360 around loads of friends' houses. I played it a lot when I was around Aaron's house and Mike's house, shout out. And, lots of other people's houses as well. But I never bothered getting one.
Yeah,
my dad owned one for a while, and he never played it, so I used that every now and then.
I had an Xbox. Well, I didn't have it. This is yet another thing that was just in our house that I was allowed to use. That I used the Xbox 360. And I don't really remember many games that I played on it because I just wasn't that bothered by it.
Nintendo Wii.
Oh yeah, and the Wii.
Everyone has owned a Wii.
You never think about the fact that you own a Wii or that you had it because you
Yeah.
probably still have it. It's still there.
Yeah. My Wii's still over there. I can see it from here.
Yeah.
I haven't turned it on in God knows how long, but it's there.
It's not actually been that long since we last played it. We were playing Mario Kart with friends before everything happened.
Until we got the Switch.
Before we had the Nintendo Switch.
We could play a real Mario Kart game. It's more than 5 frames per second.
Okay, leave Mario Kart out of this. It was a solid game.
Okay, right. So yeah, they're the consoles we've owned. Alright, I'll jump straight in.
Probably missing something there.
So this isn't... I'm not doing top 10 either. I'm just going to go through just some of my favourites. And we'll go through... I'll try and go towards leaving my most favourite till last.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so let's go kick straight off. So, Spider-Man.
The one on the PlayStation 4.
Yes, but also I also want to just mention the one on the PlayStation 1.
I never played that one.
I still own it, I believe. I have the PlayStation 1 copy. And it was incredible. I played it so much. It like it starts off and you're like outside and the whole streets are kind of you're on the tops of skyscrapers and the whole streets you can't fall down to the ground because it's all like green mist. That's kind of how they got away with having an actual map. And the combat was really cool. And I remember just like there was loads and loads of villains you were facing. It was brilliant.
They have a mission like that in the new one, don't they? As like a little hint back to it, just to be like, we didn't forget about the other game. We're not saying we're the only Spider-Man game.
Yeah. So yeah, the PlayStation 1, I have really good memories playing that as a kid. But then the PlayStation 4 one that came out, I really love it. A lot of people aren't that big of a fan, but like I platinumed it. I've completed it.
I thought it was really
every
good.
which way.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed it. I think it's got a cool enough story. There's a cool enough like collectible aspect to it. The maps are decent enough size. The combat system's cool. And
it is the entirety of like New York City, isn't it? Or like
pretty much, I guess.
Like all of like the most important parts of New York City. Obviously, never being there,
it represents them all well enough. So obviously not to scale, but it represents the different boroughs like quite well. And like the way that you upgrade like your skills and you can get different suits and stuff, that was really cool.
Yeah.
Like there were loads of really cool suits.
Well,
different abilities.
My favourite thing about the new one is that it's such an open world. Like you do just have the opportunity to go wherever, do whatever.
Yeah. You don't have to do the story. I mean, you probably should.
It's a better game if you play the story, but for the most part, like in between doing the story, you can just do like the side missions, beat up a couple bad guys.
Yeah, just the random crimes that pop up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's great.
The DLCs were pretty good too.
It got really difficult towards the end because I've completed the story now, or the main story, and it did get a bit difficult with like Sable.
Oh, the
just constantly following you and coming up just like, we're gonna beat you up, Spider-Man, and you're just like, leave me alone, I just want to collect this bag.
I thought the game overall is a really easy game to play. Like you could easily play it as a young kid and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Even on like the more difficult levels. I feel a sneeze coming on.
I had that just a second ago and it was just
Fight it back.
It came over and I just pushed it back.
So what's your one? What's your first one you're going to start off with?
Since we mentioned about like the other generation of Spider-Man, I'll keep on that kind of thing with something that has different generations. And that's Sims. Okay. But specifically, my favourite, which is probably a controversial opinion, was Sims 3, not Sims 4. Sims 4 is nowhere near as good.
Wow.
It's not.
Are you sure it's just because you haven't got the million DLC that they have?
I mean, I will admit I did have like 7 different like expansion packs on Sims 3, but it's not that. Because they boasted about how good the Sims 4, like, I can't think of what it is, customization. Like, oh, you can move all of the face features around and like very, very like specifically adjust the face. And then they give you like 4 hair colours. I'm like, what's the point? What is the point? My hair is purple. I want purple hair in Sims. All they had was blue, green, and I think pink.
Well, you probably have to buy the £900 like hair dye pack that only gives you hair dyes, and it's like £2 per colour.
But Sims 3 had so many options. Like you could pick all like 4 different parts of the hair and change the colour on on a colour palette. Like you could pick each individual colour, and that already is just like, to me, a better game because of it was limiting me as soon as I started Sims 4. Like it's still good, it's still Sims and it runs a lot better and it looks a bit better, but
yeah.
Sims 3, like it was just great. And yeah, I had all the expansion packs because of my older sister. Shout out to Sarah.
Again.
You
best be listening, Sarah.
She had a bunch of the expansion packs, but then when she moved, she left when she moved to New Zealand, she left everything just back home. So I just downloaded all of them onto my PC. And you only need 1 disc out of all of them. And I think Sarah took one with her. So if you have the final disc that you installed, you had all of the expansion packs that you had installed.
Mm.
So, yeah, I had like 6 different ones. And my favourite one was City Life, because you could literally you lived in an apartment and you could go out clubbing. And it was the best way to make friends on Sims, because you just find someone
have to do it in real life.
Yeah. And also there was the vampire one. So you would go to the nightclub, and because it's a nightclub, you'd meet a vampire. And just be like, it's a vampire. It was great. Sims 3 was so good.
Okay. So what did you play that on PC?
Yeah, PC. Yeah. I've never played it on anything but PC, even though it comes out on everything. Just never played it.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, next one on my list is another PlayStation game. I played it on PS2. Came out in 2006. Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You are scarily obsessed with this.
I can't help it. So for those of you who don't know, it was my number one, I believe, for my TV shows.
It was your number one.
I've watched it every year for the past 4 years.
I mean, we are currently rewatching it,
yes,
but that's not the point. I do also think it's great. But
so the game, though, it was a really good game.
I didn't even know there was a game.
I think there was a couple, but I only played this one. It's a single-player action-adventure game. It's a similar style game as Fable, for those of you that have played the Fable game series. It's similar to that. It's just really cool. Like, it's really simple, but you go around, playing as Aang. You get to use the different elements. You get to, improve your different elements. And I'm pretty sure you can play as other characters. Like, I remember specifically you could play as Momo for certain parts.
That's really cool.
Yeah. In a similar way, in like Ratchet and Clank, where there's the Clank levels, there's Momo levels. Yeah. And I feel like, I'm pretty sure, if I remember rightly, Momo could like find shiny objects that were hidden and stuff like that.
That seems right.
Yeah, it was really cool. I love Avatar, obviously, and I loved it back then. And it was fun. I like it. I played it a lot.
I didn't even know that was a game. So,
Well, I mean, let's be real. Back in the prime of PlayStation 2, literally
like the prime
everything
of Nickelodeon.
had a... Well, no, just everything had a PlayStation 2 game.
Yeah.
Like, you name it. Anything Disney, anything cartoon, pretty much anything had a PlayStation game.
I remember, you're thinking about PlayStation 2, like, this is just got to be a shout-out, like, just a mention to a different game. I remember having 101 Dalmatians as a game on PlayStation 1, and I don't know why. Yeah. Like, there was no purpose to the game. I don't even think it had a story. It was just, like, mini games on a disc.
I had the Monsters, Inc. game on PlayStation 1, and that was a very good game. I actually really enjoyed playing that game. That is well worth it.
There were so many things that had their own game.
PlayStation was just like, something exists? Yeah, let's make a game out of it.
Speaking of which, something that I feel like I definitely have to bring up, because we are talking about games.
What do you mean?
No, not games.
This whole podcast is games.
We are being nostalgic with it.
Oh, a lot of mine are nostalgic.
Simpsons Hit and Run.
Oh, that's actually on my list. That's on my list.
Because everyone had that game. If you had a PlayStation 2, you had Simpsons Hit and Run. Yeah. Somehow. It was like a collective thing.
I'm going to go ahead and say it. Simpsons Hit and Run is better than Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, definitely. I was more interested in Simpsons Hit and Run than I was in, like, a lot of games.
It came out in 2003.
I know, that's so old. I was 4.
And yeah, it was so good. The driving mechanic was good. The rocket car was sick.
It had an open world.
Yeah.
Like, yet again, you could just go around and you'd meet people on the street and be like, oh, hey, and then be like, oh, I'm going to challenge you to something. And you're going to be like, and you're just like, what? And
there was, like, loads of, like, hidden ramps and stuff.
Yeah.
I remember you had to destroy, like, the Buzz Cola stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, you had to go through it.
And there was the wasps.
Yeah, the wasps. You had to break all of the Buzz Cola advertising, like...
You could play as all the different characters as well, right?
I feel like there were multiple different worlds, because I remember being Lisa on the pier.
I don't remember. And also, my memory is kind of getting confused, because I also played Simpsons Road Rage, which was a decent game. It wasn't as good as Hit and Run, but it was a good game. And I also played The Simpsons game. I played that on the Wii. That was a good game.
That I have not heard of that. That sounds so bizarre.
No, The Simpsons game came out way after Hit and Run and way after Road Rage. Yeah. I think it came out probably around the same time as the film, I imagine.
Makes sense.
But it was it started off and you was in like their like parody version of like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Because it was in like a dream that Homer was having or something. It was a half decent game, but it can't compare to Hit and Run. Hit and Run is definitely better.
Hit and Run was so good.
Is that your only thing for Hit and Run?
Yeah, I'm just thinking I wasn't very good at playing it, but I remember playing it a lot.
Well,
but that's just like me playing any game.
Yeah.
Like Spider-Man was on my list.
I'm glad you said
wasn't even good.
it. You're not great at playing games.
No.
There's some games that you're weirdly like lucky at, but you're not good at playing games by any means.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So while we're on that, Tony Hawk's another PlayStation 2 game. And I'm not going to single out any of them in particular because I had like 3 or 4 of them, I feel like. I remember Tony Hawk's Wasteland. That was one of the ones I played the most of, I feel like. But they were all awesome. I remember building your own skate parks. That was so fun. I would spend hours making my own skate parks on Tony Hawk's. And then like you could do graffiti and you could play as all the different skateboarders.
I vividly remember the graffiti one. Just because it got to a certain point where I was just running around, not even with the skateboard, just going around and just tagging things.
Yeah.
And then just challenging myself because I would just be sitting playing it on my own, obviously. To be like, how high up can I get it or something?
Yeah.
And then just like skating, jumping up a ramp and then just like tag, bam.
Yeah.
And it was great.
Tony Hawk's was brilliant. And I guess while I'm on the subject, I also have to shout out Skate because Skate is a brilliant game series.
I've only played it like twice with other people, like at other people's houses.
It's much more difficult to play than Tony Hawk's because you have to actually like do specific like flicks.
Yeah.
Kind of mimicking how you would do the trick on a skateboard in a way, but with the analog stick. It is really fun. It's not as like you can't customize your own skate parks as far as I know.
Yeah.
So you haven't got that kind of side of it, and it's not as comedic, but it still is good.
Yeah.
It is a really good series still. Yeah.
I completely forgot about Tony Hawk, to be fair. Like, not him as a person. I feel like he would be a pretty cool person to meet, and I would never forget him. But it's just I just don't remember playing the game as much.
I played it quite a lot.
Me too, but I just don't remember playing it that much. Like, as weird as it is, like it's not a standout game in my memory. What I mean by that.
Yeah.
Oh God.
That's it.
Throw my
Drop the
laptop again.
What's next? What else you got?
I'm gonna throw this out there to a whole different console. PSP.
Oh God.
Yeah, it was.
Never had a PSP. Played it a little while.
Yeah, again, even such a like small, as weird as it is to say, an intimate console. No, because like it was like your own, like how like a DS, you know, it's your console, it's your thing. I still didn't have one. I would play Lego Star Wars on my brother's PSP. I would go into his room and be like, "Can I get you PSP?"
Lego Star Wars is a brilliant game series.
I feel like that's the one that I played on PSP. I know I definitely played Lego Indiana Jones on there. I don't know why I remember that. Like, I have never seen Indiana Jones, but I remember playing Lego
Indiana Jones.
It's one of those things I managed to very easily avoid. But
Star Wars Lego is definitely the best
Lego
one.
Star Wars, because if it was the first 6 films, like it was the original trilogy and the prequels.
It wasn't released as that though, was it? It was released individually, I feel like, and then they released one that was together afterwards.
Possibly.
Right? I could be wrong.
That would be a very small game. Because I remember it not being a very massive game. Like, it was a big game, but not a massive game.
I don't remember. I'm waiting for them to remaster it so I can play it on PlayStation 4.
Oh my God. You don't understand how much time I would put into that. It was so fun, just going around, getting the collectibles.
Yeah.
It would always be so satisfying when you finally get, like, all of the Lego pieces and it would come up and be like, you've caught enough Lego pieces.
It's such a great co-op game to play.
Yeah, it is. And I like that it's not side-scroller, but it's not, like, completely immersed. You're looking from, like, a fourth wall perspective.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. Because you're just chilling with it. Like, it literally looks like a Lego set.
Yeah.
And, like, it's just, my family's always been a big lover of Lego. And then to get to this point, where it's just, like, a Lego video game about Star Wars, of course we had that in my house.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, we've had, like, most of the Lego games. Like, I've got Lego Harry Potter, like, currently on our PlayStation. On our PlayStation. I said we had Lego Indiana Jones, Lego Batman.
I never really enjoyed the others as much as the Star Wars ones.
No, the Star Wars one was so good. I feel like it was one of the first ones that introduced, like, loads of characters as well.
Possibly.
Like, loads of playable characters. I feel like, yeah, because of the Indiana Jones one, you played as, like, at most 10 different characters.
I don't remember.
There was
I don't
not
think I
many.
ever played that one.
It was alright. I remember having the whip and then just like whipping potted plants because obviously everything breaks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was played on the PSP. It was great. I honestly would get a PSP again to play Lego Star Wars.
You can play Lego Star Wars on a lot of other consoles. In fact, every other console I think you could probably play it on.
But the PSP felt good. Just leave me
PSP
alone.
was
It was
one
great.
of the worst consoles.
It came out at the wrong time. It was a good
if
console,
you say
wrong
so.
time.
The DS is better.
No.
Okay, let's bring it back. So I'm gonna go back to PlayStation 2.
Yep. Of course you are.
It's the one I put the most time into, and I have the most like nostalgia for. Need for Speed Underground 2.
Wow.
Yeah, I had a lot of the Need for Speed games.
When did that come out? Do you have that like written down?
I do not have it written down.
It just feels like an old
Well,
game.
You
You
call
hit.
me out like that.
Sorry. You just
Hang on, I'll Google it right now.
you hear someone say Need for Speed, and in my brain it's so nostalgic. It's like it's such an old game.
It came out. Oh my god, what? That can't be right.
No way. How
Oh,
old?
hang on.
How old is it?
Hold on. That's not right. I think they're
that's
going for
what-
the arcade version. Yeah, so not
Okay.
the arcade version.
The actual like
The
console
actual-
version.
Yeah, the console version of Need for Speed Underground 2 came out in 2004. So it's quite old.
What a year.
But it's not as old as the other one, which came out in the 90s, because that's an arcade game. Need for Speed Underground 2. It's got pretty good reviews. It was a brilliant game. The soundtrack was awesome. I remember it had The Doors, Black Betty by Ram Jam.
Oh yeah.
It had loads of great songs on it, and it had loads of customization options. It was just a really fun racing game. I think to this day it's still up there in one of my, well, probably my favourite racing game of all time. Like there's obviously more realistic and stuff like that now, but that one, it holds a special place. It's an awesome game.
I feel like that might have been a game I played with my brothers. There weren't many that we would all like play together, especially as I said, there were 4 of us and 2 brothers that were closer in age than I was to any of them, so they would play games together on co-op games, and I'd just be sitting there watching like, yes, video games, I understand. Obviously, I had no problem with that. Had times to just play with my DS.
I've got to see way too much on my DS. Okay, what's your next one?
My next one, I'm gonna go quite different to what I feel like most people would think about me when it comes to games.
Doom.
No, I've never played Doom. I didn't understand what the concept of it was because everyone just knew Doom.
It's not much
as
of a
game.
concept, really. It's just
Is it a first-person shooter?
murder.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, I might have to give it a go. But anyway, Call of Duty Black Ops 2.
Black Ops 2.
Black Ops 2 was the
You're
best
a
one.
disgrace.
Black Ops 2 was the one that I got into because it was the newest one when I started playing them. And I really enjoyed it. It doesn't have all the gimmicks of Black Ops 3. So at least there's that. Best weapons that you could get in them. I have like, I'd say a lot of good memories. Just like a lot of memories of coming back from school. No one was home other than just like me and my mum. And I'd be like, hey mum, do you mind if I play games? And she'd just be like, why would I care? And then I'd just be sitting in the living room on the big screen, Black Ops 2, just me there for a couple of hours,
Okay.
just like, pow, 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 pow,
So,
on my own.
you are wrong, and I'm about to tell you why. Because, for a start, almost every Call of Duty fan out there is raging right now, because they'll be like, oh no, Modern Warfare's the best, or, whatever your opinion is, I don't know.
I did have Modern
I will tell
Warfare.
you, as a fact, objectively, and everyone else is wrong, Call of Duty World at War is the best Call of Duty, and it's on my list, and it's quite high on my list. Came out in 2008. It is by far my favourite Call of Duty of all time, if you couldn't tell. It has a 9 out of 10 on Steam. Obviously, first-person shooter.
So does Black Ops 2, though.
It was the first ever zombies game. It originated the concept of zombie, well, not zombies, of the Nazi zombies games that everyone knows and loves today. Like, it was the first Call of Duty game to actually do that.
Yeah.
And it had a really cool campaign. And let's be real, most of the Call of Duty campaigns are trash. But the World at War 1 had a brilliant campaign. It basically changed Call of Duty as a franchise because of Nazi zombies. And then, okay, I have to admit, I am very biased because I remember every Friday, my school had half days.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
until they stopped that and everyone rioted. But anyway, originally they had half days, which they had forever. And I remember every Friday I would finish, and after school, me and my friend Alex, shout out to Alex, you best be listening, we would go to our local shop, because we lived in the street.
The street.
We lived in the street. No, we lived down the same street, and we'd go to the shop together after. I'd get myself 2 cans of Monster, or,
So healthy.
Yeah, I know, I was very healthy. I got myself 2 different cans of Monster. Normally Ripper and Chaos, but sometimes other ones, who knows. Before there were like a million flavours.
Yeah.
And I'd get myself some cookies, and he'd get himself some cookies, and then we'd go back to his, and we'd sit at his, and just play the first ever Zombies map for hours.
Oh, God.
We'd play other game modes, but essentially we'd just sit there playing World at War together for hours. His dogs would be there, and his many siblings, and we would just be like, nah, leave us alone. This is our console
zombies.
now. We've taken it over and we're playing zombies. So yeah, we just sit there together playing zombies for ages. So I have fond memories of that.
See, I have fond memories, but just of every now and then, I would just go to the living room, and one of my brothers would be playing Black Ops 2, and I'd be like, "Do you want to join?" Like, yeah. I'm not doing anything else. And we'd sit there and just go for it. Obviously, I've already mentioned about how I suck at games, so I was never good at zombies, and I still am not. I just can't
zombies.
get the concept of zombies down.
See, if it wasn't for World at War, I wouldn't have been playing all the other zombies games when they came out.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't for that, I don't think I would have played anywhere near as much zombies with Aaron. Because I played a lot of zombies with Aaron on, Black Ops 1 and, the later zombies ones where it started getting really good before it got crap again. And
Black Ops 2 one was pretty good.
I played a lot of zombies with Aaron. I remember the thing that was the most exciting was when the map Moon came out. And, I swear we stayed up, all night, on one of the first few days of it being out with his brother Ashley, and we did all of the, all of the Easter eggs and stuff.
Oof.
If my memory serves me right, anyway. But it was such a brilliant game. So that is why Call of Duty World at War is the best Call of Duty, and it is better than Black Ops 2, in an objective opinion. There's no subjectivity here, honest.
I will still just say that Black Ops 2 is my favourite because it's the first one I got onto, and I was just really proud of myself because, yeah, I'm a little noob, and I used to play using snipers on hardcore team deathmatch, and I got it all the way up to gold. That's how much I did it, and that includes doing things like, the bloodthirsties where you would get 5 kills without dying and things like that. It was just, I was good at, I just felt good enough at Black Ops 2 online, and that's why I enjoyed it.
See, I don't care about playing games like that online. I'm not big into that. I like campaigns and
it's good
and
for
co-op and
it's
stuff
good
like
for
that.
mindless gaming. That's why I did it. It's just I'm not thinking, just pow, 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 pow.
Speaking of mindless gaming.
Okay, where you going?
There's going to be a few words for this one, but it's the oldest game by far on either of our lists. I can guarantee you that. Tetris.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's quite high up on my list.
Yeah.
Honestly, Tetris. It's such a good game.
Yeah.
It's the reason why it's got freaking championships and it's in a world record book and stuff is because it's addictive. Everyone who's played Tetris for enough time has had Tetris dreams. I've had plenty of Tetris dreams in the past.
I don't think I have, but I just haven't played it that much because
I used to play it a lot at school when I was meant to be doing work.
Surprise.
That was one of the things that you could get through the school block on games.
Because no one thinks about blocking Tetris because it's such a...
There's so many different versions of Tetris that you can't block all of them. You can't block every Tetris on the internet. There are too many. Tetris is everywhere. Tetris is superior.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I still call myself the Tetris master every time I'm packing away anything into a cupboard or into our fridge freezer because
yeah, you do
I can just very comfortably fit just things that shouldn't be able to fit in. I can fit them in. I can do it with my Tetris skills. Yeah, Tetris. What's your next one?
I'm gonna go for another old game. I didn't write down the year that it came out because this is more like a franchise, and I think it had like 20 different games in the franchise. And that's Buzz on the PlayStation 2. It was such a good family game. Like, that was around the time where video games started taking over board games. I feel like, oh, you want some family fun time?
Oh, yeah.
And it would be like, we're going to sit and we're going to play Buzz. You could have 8 players on it as well. So in our family of 6, that was great. But bless
I knew
you.
it was gonna happen at some point.
But yeah, we would just sit there, like, this would be like after my sister moved out, mostly when I remember it. She would just like let my mum know. She'd be like, okay, I'm coming over. We're gonna play Buzz.
Now
Bless
they're not
you.
gonna stop. It's gonna ruin the whole podcast. Non-stop sneezing.
But it was just like a quiz-based game where you got given your own little controller, like your own little buzzer, and it had the buzzer on it and 4 different buttons that were color coordinated, so it was like red, green, blue, yellow. And you would just answer the questions that came up, or sometimes it would be one of those things where it's like first person to buzz in, and you get all the extra points, and you'd do it, and you'd fill out and like you'd just answer the questions. Like, it was just a quiz game. But I just loved it. There were so many different versions. There was like the big movie one, there was a big music one, just in general, just like trivia questions, or they had like more child-based ones where you would do just like games where you were monkeys. I very vividly remember one where you was like monkeys and you would just like, I don't even know what you would do.
See, I never played Buzz because again, only child.
I am seriously considering scouring the internet to find some so that we can play it with people once lockdown ends.
I feel like there's got to be better versions now though, because
There's
there's a
though.
lot more quiz games out there.
But none of them are as good. The
We
closest
played Knowledge is Power. That's quite good.
That's nothing compared to Buzz.
Okay.
Absolutely nothing.
I'll have to take your word for it.
That is the best thing I have seen that comes close to Buzz, but it still wasn't. And I've even wrote this down on my notes. There was only one downside to playing Buzz, and that was when you'd be too lazy to pack it away, so you'd just shove it in a box, and then you had to untangle it to play it again. And it would be, because it was 4 separate controllers on these like meter long wires.
Yeah.
Because it was a PlayStation 2, everything was wired.
Yeah.
So it just...
How would they all go in? Was there enough slots
So
for
it all went to one connector, and then one connector
wow.
would plug in, and that's how it was an 8-player game.
Yeah.
Because you'd have the 2 plug-in things, and then it would separate off into the 4 different controllers.
Yeah.
It was great.
Okay.
It was such a good game. I actually think I might buy it sometime.
Okay. The next one, I think, is the only Xbox game on my list.
Oh.
So this is Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
I remember you playing this.
So it came out in 2013. That's not when I played it. I played it a lot more recently because I just got given it and I was like, hell yeah. I know that a lot of people out there, especially Assassin's Creed fans, will probably be very upset with me thinking that Black Flag is my favourite. Because it's the 6th game in the series, and I know a lot of people think that there's other better ones. But it has a 9 out of 10 rating on Steam, so you know it's obviously people do love it still. And you know what? I don't care if you think I'm wrong. You can't blame me for wanting to be a pirate.
I mean, yeah, like from anything I've ever seen of Assassin's Creed, because I've never found like an interest in it. But while you was playing it, I was like, well, this seems interesting because you're a pirate.
Yeah.
And then you'd get on like a little pirate ship and it'd start singing shanties,
Yeah,
and you'd have a shanty stuck in your head for like 3 weeks.
Instead of the radio function, their version while you were sailing your ship, and to make it more interesting, was to have the crew sing sea shanties, and you could literally skip the shanty if you wanted a different one, and you went around and actually discovered new shanties that people could that would then sing, so you could add them to your list of shanties that people could sing. It was brilliant.
It was great, but it was also frustrating when you'd end up with like Pirate's Life will be like for me or whatever a song is, and it's just it will be stuck in your head for so long.
Absolute tunes.
Absolute banger.
And I mean the combat was awesome. You had like flintlock pistols and stuff as well as the the more traditional Assassin's Creed stuff. You also had swords and shit. And I remember just, like, being able to use the cannons on your ship and upgrade the cannons and, like, be able to just board other ships and stuff like that. I just thought that was so cool. And the diving aspect of it was really cool as well. I mean, it was terrifying and you felt like you had to hold your breath the whole time. And you'd always get killed by a shark.
I know. Or the moray eels.
Yeah. And you could also go whaling and stuff like that.
It was really interesting. I did like that as I was watching it, every time I would watch you playing it, like, there was something different going on that I was just like, how are you on, like, this whole different island?
Yeah.
Why are you underwater out of nowhere? And it's just, like, who are these people that you've just found? Like, it was always something new going on, which I did think was pretty good. But obviously, yeah, I probably won't ever play it. But it looked right.
Yeah. I mean, I like, pretty much 100%ed it. I mean, there was a few little bits and pieces I don't think I got around to doing, but, you know, I did everything, essentially. Yeah. Right, what's your next one?
Speaking of pirates.
Oh, dear.
This is my number one on my list.
We don't have to jump to your number one.
I just feel like it's a good segue.
Okay, we'll take your number one then.
Straight into my number one. The Curse of Monkey Island. Oh, see, it's funny because of this. It came out in 1997. That is a year before I was born.
And it's barely even a game.
It is 100% a game. It has 10 out of 10 on Steam.
It's because only 10 people know what it is, and those 10 people love it for some reason.
There was like 20,000, no, not 20,000, like just about 10,000 reviews on there. And when you look at the reviews on Steam, it says overwhelmingly positive, and that is how I feel about the game.
It is a very witty game, I'll give you that. It's funny.
Okay, so this isn't even the first out of the whole series. Like, it is an old game. Like, I remember seeing this, like, an 8-bit one where it's like a side-scroller or something. Like, it was just not good when I first saw, well, not when I first saw it, because if I first saw Curse of Monkey Island. But it's so good. You are an unqualified pirate, basically. You are just...
It's just point and click, isn't it?
Yeah.
You just have to answer with, like, A, B, or C and be more witty than the other pirate. That's the whole game, right?
No, that's the middle part. So I say the middle part because when I first had it, it was on 2 separate discs. You would be in one island where you would... So the whole basis of the game, I feel like I was going to give a spoiler alert. The game is 22 years old. It's not a spoiler alert. 23 years old. It's 23 years old.
Yeah.
And,
depending on the month.
Yeah.
Same year I was born, so...
Like, you are Guybrush Threepwood. You...
No, I'm not.
in the game. And the whole beginning, you're trapped on a pirate ship that's owned by LeChuck, the zombie pirate. And when you, like, break out of his ship, you find like a ring that was in his, like, hold. Is it in the hold?
I've not played it.
Is that where they keep all of their booty?
Yes, I guess.
Anyway, yeah, he finds this diamond ring and he's like, I'm going to use this to propose to my girlfriend. Gives it to his girlfriend, and then she ends up turning into a solid gold statue because the ring was cursed. And the whole thing is you figuring out how to break the curse. And you have to, like, find your little crew for your ship and just all these different things. But it's just so fun. And it's so simple. You just go around, you're just picking up things, and you're like, oh, look, here's a rock. This might be useful later. And things like that. And there's monkeys everywhere, obviously. It's called Monkey Island. And just every character is so funny. And it's also another thing I feel like I need to point out. It's made by LucasArts.
Yeah.
So...
well, they made a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but...
around that time.
But, as I said, like, it comes in 2 separate parts, and there's the middle part, which is where you finally have your crew, and you're going to a different... And you're sailing to Blood Island, but you need to...
Hang on, can I just stop you?
Yes?
You say 2 separate parts.
Yeah.
What is the middle of 2?
A segue.
For there to be a middle, there has to be 3 parts, surely. If you're talking about the middle part, how can there be a middle?
How I put this is, there's the first island, where you are, and then there's you sailing and being in, like, little pirate... Like, in, like, little sword fights in the middle, where you're battling with other pirates and stealing booty. Nice. And, then you're on another island, where you break the curse.
So there's 3 parts.
Yes, well, there are technically more parts, but it's just how I know of breaking it up because of the way that the discs were on the original PC game. Okay? Damn.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But in the middle part, you are, you're sword fighting, but instead of actually sword fighting, you're having, like, insults with other people. So, like, they would say, on guard, touche, and you'd go, oh, that is so cliche, and then you'd be winning because you're outwitting them in a rhyming battle. It's really weird, but it's great. Definitely, if you're thinking of buying it, or not even buy it, if you're thinking of playing it, do it. It's like a $5 on Steam at the moment, and that's why I'm currently in the middle of playing it again.
Okay.
But yeah, brilliant game. Play it.
My next one, it's another series of games. Guitar Hero.
Nice.
Yeah.
Another
And
game I suck at.
literally any of them. Doesn't matter which one. They're all brilliant. The first Guitar Hero release was in 2005, I believe. I'm not sure if there was like arcade versions before that. But I mean, I think I love it the most because I love it mostly because it's just an entirely rhythm-based game, right? And I'm a drummer.
And that's you.
Yeah, I am rhythm. So, like, I can't play guitar to save my life. I'm half decent at bass-ish, kind of. Maybe, a little bit. But
You can play at least 2 songs.
I can play a couple, few.
A couple fews.
It's such a good game. I played it loads on the Wii. Every single time I go on holiday, I have such vivid memories of spending way too much money on the arcade Guitar Hero machines.
Oh, yeah.
And, trying to get high scores on there. I loved it. I played it, like I said, loads on the Wii. And every time people would come over, that would be like, one of the things that you could just
Put on
with someone, yeah. I also have fond memories of playing it with Aaron and Mike while very intoxicated. So yeah, that's why Guitar Hero is on my list. Just lots of intoxicated playing with people that are worse than me and also people that are better than me. But I'm pretty good at it. And I love it because it's a way of listening to music but interacting with it without actually playing it.
See, I have not a single ounce of rhythm in my body, and that's why I am not good at playing that.
It's so good. Right, what's your next one?
I'm gonna go for the Spyro games.
Hell yeah.
So I wrote down here the Reignited trilogy because it looks better than the original ones.
Yeah, and you've been playing it a lot recently.
Yeah, and I've been playing it a lot. So the Reignited trilogy on the PlayStation because that's where we have it, and I got given it.
PlayStation 4.
PlayStation 4, yeah.
I remember I owned it on PlayStation 2 and I completed it back then.
Yeah, like, this is another game that reminds me a lot of family time. I feel like absolutely everyone in my family played it, including, like, my nan. Like, this game, did my mum buy us Spyro, or was it the game that my nan had and it came with it?
Yeah, it came with.
No, it wasn't the one that came with it. Crash Bandicoot was the game that came
and
that
was
with
what I wanted to mention as well, because I love Crash Bandicoot. I'm not a big
great.
fan of the remaster, mainly because I find it really difficult, even though
it's a really hard game.
I owned all of them on PS2 and completed them as a child. And yet now I try and play on the PlayStation 4 on the remastered version, and I struggle.
Yeah.
I get real angry.
I mean, there are some parts that I feel the same about the Reignited one. Like, it's pretty easy to go through, but sometimes there's like there's certain challenges, and if I can't be bothered to do them, it's just not working with me. Like, where it's like, oh, defeat this ball in a hockey game. Because, it's Spyro, nothing makes sense, you're defeating a massive ball, you're a dragon, and for some reason, you're playing hockey.
Yeah.
And it's not even a part of the main game. This is just like, here's a little hidden place on an island where you can play hockey.
Yeah.
But it's really good. I'm currently on the 3rd one on the PlayStation 4.
We platinumed the first one together.
Yeah.
The second one we essentially have platinumed, but there's one trophy we can't get because the game has bugged out.
Yeah.
Which is just annoying.
And also, I'm not good at that specific challenge where you have to, like, fly around and kill bugs.
Draclets, I think they're called, yeah.
But you have to do it in one super flight.
Which I have done about 5 times, and all 5 times it hasn't given me the trophy. And online, on message boards, it's just like, sometimes it just doesn't work. It's like, wow, thank you.
But I am preferring the third one out of the trilogy because you can play as like the other characters
Yeah.
and stuff, which is just nice. It's nice to have that little extra element going on.
I remember playing some of the later Spyro ones. I can't remember what they were called on PlayStation 2, and you could play as the other characters, and I remember being very excited by that.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah, I thought I just meant bring that one up because
Yeah,
it's just really good. Again, it's got like the nostalgic feeling, but with a new game, with the Reignited trilogy, and that's just...
Yeah.
Who doesn't want that?
Alright, next on my list, taking it back to Star Wars.
Ooh.
Star Wars Force Unleashed. A lot of people would definitely be like, oh, but that's not that good. And, you know, Star Wars Battlefront is better. I mean, I loved Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2 on the PlayStation 2. And, you know, the new versions are pretty decent as well. They're alright. But Star Wars Force Unleashed 1 came out in 2008. It's got a 7.8 out of 10 on IGN, apparently. I played it on the Wii. And I completed it so many times because, it has a really good story. The whole, like, Starkiller arc and how the rebellion was created and all this stuff. It's really cool. But also, you get to swing the lightsaber with your right hand and use the Force with your other hand.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, you get to physically, like, actually control the lightsaber, and you had to push your hand forward to use the Force, and you could use Force lightning and stuff. It was awesome. And you got to fight Rancors and Jedi and Sith and all this stuff throughout the story, and it's so good. And it had, like, skill trees where you could, you know, if you wanted to, you could just completely power up the lightning and make his lightning so it was just so overwhelmingly powerful that it just killed everything around. And you could throw your lightsaber and stuff as well. It was so cool. It was brilliant. Star Wars Force Unleashed 2, I had that on the Wii as well, and that was pretty shit, not gonna lie. Story was kinda crap, and it didn't have the actual features that the first one had, so you wasn't really controlling the lightsabers, you couldn't use the Force just by pushing.
Yeah.
Just ruined it. But the first one was brilliant.
I know that you would have a very different opinion on Star Wars games if you had Fallen Order, but obviously...
Yeah, I have not played Fallen Order yet.
Yeah.
I have not got it. Yeah, I have a feeling it might be a bit difficult and I might get frustrated with it, but I probably would definitely complete it because it just looks amazing. And Star Wars.
Fair enough.
Star Wars gets me through anything.
I only have 2 left.
You only have 2 left?
Yes.
Jesus. Okay, I'll say another one then.
Yeah, just hit us with another one.
So, Trials Fusion came out in 2014. It's only got a 6 out of 10 on Steam.
I can see why, but it's also still, like, pretty good.
It's like it's a sideways view motorbike game, basically.
Yeah.
The reason why... I played it on Xbox 360, but I also believe Xbox One as well. I never owned it, personally.
We had it on the PlayStation.
Yeah, until recently, when I was like, oh, I'll buy it for nostalgic sake.
We didn't even buy it. It was free, wasn't it?
Oh, maybe. But yeah, I played it basically round my friend Aaron and Mike's.
Where you played most of your games.
Where a lot of the co-op games I played with them. Because, you know, Aaron is obsessed with games, and I played a lot of games with him. It was fun.
But it's just, according to this podcast so far, if you're playing games, it's with Aaron and Mike. And the one time it's not with Aaron and Mike, it was with Alex.
Well, no, if it's a co-op game, then yeah. If it's a multiplayer game, for sure, definitely. So I remember playing it while not at all sober with Aaron and Mike loads. I remember playing all of the custom online maps that people made.
It's a pretty easy game to play, like, while drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really easy to play when you're just out of your mind.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. It's essentially just balancing. You're just, you know, you can do tricks and stuff, but it's essentially just moving right or left to balance your bike.
Yeah.
So that you can land right and take off from ramps right and stuff like that. I remember Aaron used to be able to beat us using one hand on a controller, which...
That does not surprise me.
It's just unreal. It's ridiculous. But I got pretty damn good at it. And it's really fun to play in, like, large groups of people when you're all just, like, having a good time.
Yeah. Like, we've had it a couple times here, just, like, we're all just chilling with people, having a couple of drinks. It's just like, oh, what should we play? Or should we do something? It's like, oh, let's just put on Trials, because why not?
Yeah. It's a great game. Alright, you want to give your next one?
Yeah. I'm going to go for Stardew Valley.
Brilliant game.
I haven't played it.
I need to play some more of it.
I went through, like, this massive hype with it when we first got our Switch, because we bought our Switch off of Tom. Shout out to Tom. and he had already downloaded it onto the console, and he kept himself signed in so that we could play it. He was like, I think you guys would enjoy this. So basically, what it is you take over, is it your grandfather's farm?
Yeah.
Because he passes away. And you just farm. You have your little farm.
It's essentially a farming simulator, but it's really chill.
But it's also got, like, those little mystical aspects where, like, if you do certain things, like, you collect these certain items, then you hand them into the community centre.
They're like spirits.
Yeah, you hand them into the community centre, and then, like, these spirits will do something around the town for you, which, like, we're going to fix the bridge, we're going to repair this place, we're going to give you access to a special place. It's really weird. But I love it because it's like a little 8-bit game.
Yeah.
Got really cute music. You meet all of the townspeople, and all of them have, like, their own well-developed characters.
Yeah.
You can befriend anyone. And then it has this whole thing where you can, like, marry someone if you want.
But it's essentially just farming. There's also the mines you can go in and you can like fight little enemies and stuff and collect things, get swords and stuff. But it's mainly just planting crops and doing it in the right season and looking after
money.
them. Yeah.
So I've now got to the point where it's like, oh, I'm making beer and wine and cheese.
Yeah.
Because why wouldn't I?
What I love most about it is that it was created by one guy.
Yeah.
One guy made this fully flushed out, amazing 8-bit game, put loads into it, put loads of script writing into it. He made all of the music for it, and the music's really good. He did everything. Yeah. And it's so good. It's such a good game.
It is really good. And I also like just how I saw a thing recently where, like, because there is a co-op way of doing it, isn't there? Like, I don't know exactly how the co-op thing works.
I mean, you have to pay for the online Switch thing, and then...
Oh, no, because, like, it's also on PC. It's on every console.
Oh, well, I've only played on the Switch.
Yeah, so we've only played it on the Switch, but you can get it on literally everything. But these people got in touch with him and was like, hey, is there a way that we can play it with 6 people? Because it only allows 4 people co-op. So it was like, it's only 4 people co-op, but there's 6 of us that want to play together. So he just sent them a thing on how to fix the code, and he went, I can't guarantee it's going to work, but
and it might break the warranty.
Yeah, it might break it, but give this a go. Let me know if it works. Like, it wasn't even
Such
like
a cool guy.
A paying extra for it. He was just like, oh, let me know how this goes. Yeah. This should fix your problem. And it's just everything surrounding the game is so wholesome. I love it.
Okay, so on a less wholesome note.
Oh no.
Just Cause 2.
Another game I haven't played.
I played it on Xbox 360. Around my dad's a lot. I never played Just Cause 1. I also didn't ever play 3 or 4. Don't ask me why, I don't know, just never did. But Just Cause 2 is quite high on my list. It's got a 9 out of 10 on Steam. It's an action-adventure game. It came out in 2010. I put a lot of hours into it. I loved that it was, it was a very free-roam nature kind of game. It had a cool campaign, but there was so much to do even when you finished that. It had a really cool combat system. There was cool driving. You could fly planes, tanks, boats, anything. It was really cool. There's loads of different weapons. You could use a grappling hook and a parachute to just get around anywhere. So you could use grappling hooks on enemies, but you could also use it to just kind of get around really quickly. Yeah. So you could get around just really easy, which was handy because the map was ridiculously huge. Like, it was so big, and there was loads of different kind of aspects to it. Like those big cities and stuff, military bases, forests, all kinds of stuff. Huge oceans. There's also a blimp with a strip club on it. Not sure why.
Why not?
Yeah, but I mean, I remember just after school around my dad's house when I had no friends, just sitting there playing Just Cause 2 for ages. I should almost definitely try the newer versions. I just haven't for some reason. But it was,
especially
it was a really
if you
good game.
Enjoyed that one a lot.
Yeah, I loved it.
You just reminded me of a different game that I put a lot of time into. Saints Row.
Yeah.
I played a lot of Saints Row 4.
I always preferred GTA 4 to the Saints Row.
I really enjoyed Saints Row, but I think that's because it had that really just more comical aspect to Grand Theft Auto. Like,
well, I don't know. It was...
You had a dildo as a weapon, and that was an in-game weapon. It wasn't like a hack or a cheat or anything.
They were both very comical.
This giant dildo.
Yeah. I just preferred how it felt playing GTA to Saints Row. It was a very different feeling.
See, I guess that's why I also preferred Saints Row, because of it felt different, and I just preferred how Saints Row felt. So there's like a little shout out to Saints Row, just because.
Yeah, my shout out to GTA. Well, how many have you got left?
This is my final one.
Oh, okay, I'll go again then.
Oh.
I've got a couple more.
Then cut some out.
3 more? I don't know. My next one is The Witcher 3.
Ah, right, yeah.
Came out in 2015. I'm still currently playing it on PlayStation 4 because I started it
This sounds like since 2015. I'm still playing it.
It's a big enough bloody game. No, I started playing it around December, but I've been playing it on and off as well as some other games. It introduced me to the Witcher series. I've now got all of the books, and I've also watched the show. I think the show's pretty good.
I like the show.
It has a 10 out of 10 on Steam, and also I think it's broke loads of records recently. Since the show came out, like, it's had just a massive resurgence, and everyone's been playing it. But it's a really good game. It's massive. Like, it's ridiculously massive. It's got a big map as well. I love the story. There's just so much to do in it.
Yeah.
Like, you could play Gwent as well, which is like a card game which you can play in it.
Like a whole extra game within the game.
Exactly. You can, train your horse, you can collect loads of different weapons and armors and do alchemy and make stuff and hunt monsters and do all kinds of shit. And it's a really fun game. I'll try and be quick because I've got a couple more. Okay, another one, Kingdom Hearts 2.
Okay, yeah, Kingdom Hearts was pretty good.
Yeah, I love the whole...
We played both of them so far.
No, we played Kingdom Hearts 1 together.
Oh yeah, we haven't played Kingdom Hearts.
We platinumed Kingdom Hearts 1 together, but we haven't played any of the others on PS4, because we bought the whole remastered series, other than number 3.
Yeah.
We haven't got through it yet. But yeah, Kingdom Hearts 2 came out in 2005. I played it on PlayStation 2. It's like an action role-playing game, for those that you don't know. It introduced me to the whole Kingdom Hearts series. I loved all of the stories. The combat was really awesome. I loved all of the different Disney worlds and the different like cool keyblades you could get that were designed along with the Disney worlds.
And how they all had like different effects that you could have.
Yeah.
Like different powers and stuff.
The music was really great as well. I've got to play through the whole series again at some point. I need to go through it with you, because Kingdom Hearts 2, in my opinion, is the best one in the whole series.
Did that one have Monsters Inc.?
I'm not sure. I don't have a good memory of that.
This is just making me think, because I know that
one of them has got
when you go to each of the different places, you end up with a character as a sidekick, basically.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, you can't have Mike Wazowski or Sully.
Yeah.
So, but like, you can't.
Well, you might be able to.
Yeah, they could easily make it part of the story.
Yeah, they had loads of different characters. Right, let's keep going. I've got a few more still. I've just got a rapid fire.
Just got me really in depth thinking about it.
My next one is the only PC game on my list, I think. Well, no, shout out to Minecraft. Minecraft's a sick game. But also, Black Desert Online.
I did wonder if this was going to be on your list.
It has to be on my list. So when I first went to uni, I was introduced it by my housemate Tom. He played it.
Tom again.
Yeah, again. He played it obsessively. And I don't care if he minds me saying it. He was obsessed with it. He put a lot of money into it. But yeah, he played it loads. And I didn't have a PC at the time, I just had a laptop. And he basically, after a good while, he managed to persuade me into building a PC and buying it. So I eventually caved and did that. Partly just to play the game with him, to be honest. It's a great MMO. I spent way too much of my life on it while I was at uni. Probably should have spent more time doing other things. But oh well, I still managed to get my degree, so kind of went okay. But yeah, it's a brilliant game. I love that the guild system in it is really like community focused. The combat system is really different to other MMOs. I tried playing World of Warcraft, but I just don't think it's that good. But yeah, Black Desert Online is really good. It's also got loads of life skills. You can do fishing, cooking, farming and stuff like that. I remember just fishing all the time while AFK just to get experience and money and stuff.
Oh yeah.
The cooking was really fun. I also got into doing a lot of farming. I played as a wizard mostly, but there's loads of other classes you could be.
I remember because I got it and I got to like level 12, which in the grand scheme of Black Desert Online, it was literally nothing.
That was why I eventually gave up with it, is because it was very grindy. You had to put your entire life into it to really get places with it, and I couldn't dedicate enough time to it to make it
Yeah.
to get where I wanted.
I played the archer in it.
Yeah.
I remember that just because I thought it was really cool.
Yeah. All of the characters. I mean, they're constantly bringing out new ones as well, and they've got it on other
Yeah.
consoles now. When I was playing it, it was only on PC.
Yeah, it was PC only, and then it was like they released the other versions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was really good
I
game.
thought it was okay. I didn't.
It was really
see
good.
why.
I eventually had to give it up.
Yeah, I'm just not that big into like fantasy stuff.
Yeah.
So
I prefer sci-fi normally, but no, it's really good.
yeah.
Okay, I've got 2 more on my list. Do you want to go for one as I've been chatting shit for so long?
Yes. I'm gonna with my final one, the most recent game I have bought and played because I was playing it earlier today, as I do almost
Okay.
every day, which is Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I prefer Stardew Valley, but then again, I haven't really played Animal Crossing. I've just watched you play it.
Animal Crossing has more of like the wholesome feeling because in Stardew Valley, like I remember seeing it as like a meme where it's like Stardew Valley and it's like spends 3 months like harvest like to grow a carrot, gives it to someone, and they're like, I don't even like this.
Yeah.
Whereas at least in Animal Crossing, you will hand something to someone and they're like, oh my god, how did you know that this is my favourite? And I'm like, because you're programmed to tell me that. So, yeah, like it's so easy to play it. Like you can easily also put a lot of time into it. What I like about it is it's like you're playing it in real time. Like you go on and it's just like, oh, today is like insert whatever day you're at. It's like whatever time you're at as well. And it just has all of that. It's just really nice, and the animation is nice. I don't like that you can't turn your screen. The only thing you have is you're just looking at it from either one angle or you're looking at it from slightly above that angle, but like you're still facing just the same way.
Yeah,
all
I think
the
that would
time.
frustrate me.
Yeah, like sometimes if I play a different game and then I go into playing Animal Crossing, I'm like, wait, I can't turn. But it's still like it's worth it, and
So would you say that's your favourite game?
it is up there, but I think it might be because of it's like pretty fresh.
Yeah.
In like,
And let's be real, games have
making-
got better.
yeah, but it's just like it's just a nice game, and it hacks into the part of my brain that is obsessed with collecting things, because you have the museum and it tells you that you have like, oh, it's like, oh, we need to add this thing to our collection when you see Blathers, and he's just like, oh, thank you for this fossil or this fish. He doesn't say thank you for bugs because he doesn't like bugs, despite being an owl. He's scared of bugs, which is a really not necessary part of the game, but it's nice talking to Blather, and he's like, a bug. And I'm like, yep, take it, put it in the museum. But yeah, I want to just collect everything. Recently, I've been collecting the sharks in it, which is really fun when you're just putting like a fishing rod in, like, and you're just like doing some normal fishing. Next thing you know, you've got like a great white shark, and you're like, it's bigger than like 3 of me.
I find it funny where you put the fishing rod in and it's very clearly a silhouette of a fish swimming around. All of a sudden you pull out a boot. And it's like, how? How is that a thing?
It's so funny. Like, oh, it's just so good. I like the different characters as well. Like, there's so many different characters that you can have move into your island. I have one guy who moved in. He just dresses like a Greek god for no reason, and he acts all fancy. And if you go into his house, it's just a bathroom. Like, there's no other parts to the house. There's not even a bed. It's just a bathtub, a toilet, and a bidet.
That's all you need.
And a shower. He has a bathtub and a shower.
Maybe the bathtub's his bed.
Maybe.
Okay.
But yeah. That's my final one. I have a couple of mentions as well. Like
Okay.
Other things.
Yeah. Alright, Ratchet and Clank. 1, 2, and 3 are the ones I played the most on PlayStation 2. Although I have platinumed the newest one, the one that was based on a film that came out in 2016 on PlayStation 4. I platinumed that. It was fun, but that was essentially just a strange remaster of Ratchet and Clank 1, kind of, for the most part.
Yeah.
But yeah, I played Ratchet and Clank 1, 2, and 3. 3 being my favourite, by far. I loved them. They are some of my favourite games of all time. This is joint first with the next one I'm going to talk about as well. they're so good. Insomniac games are brilliant. I love that the stories are just different from other things. They're funny the whole way through. The combat is really super fun. There's also like loads of puzzle solving aspects to it, especially when you're playing as Clank. It's all just puzzle solving.
I do like that because if I played it as well, I keep thinking lately, because we're like at that weird level of lockdown where I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm just like, do I just redo Ratchet and Clank?
You only played the newest one, and in comparison,
and it's still good.
Yeah, no, it's still a good game, but in comparison to Ratchet and Clank 1, 2, and 3 on the PS2, it's trash. I mean, it's not on the same level.
I mean, what's stopping me from playing those? We do have a PS2 just sitting there.
I don't think I own them, because I believe I sold them to Mike.
No.
Because he wanted to play them back when I sold my PS2 and then instantly regretted it. But yeah, also the guns are amazing. There's so many cool guns. I remember that the blade gun and the black hole gun. There's also like the little...
There's the sheep one.
Yeah, the sheepinator. Yeah, all of the guns are hilarious. It's so good. There's also like holo cards that you collect, and there's other collectibles like bolts and crystals and stuff.
I like the whole thing that you can level up your weapons as you go.
Yeah.
So it makes you feel like you are just like you're progressing as well as
through the story.
Like going through the story. Yeah, like
and you also get new gadgets and stuff like that the whole way through. It's so good. I just have to mention, the voice actors are incredible.
For the new one, at least.
For the whole series.
Oh, okay.
The whole series is a really good... Like, let me just name some of the like guest voice actors. Rosario Dawson.
She was only in the new one, wasn't she?
No. Paul Giamatti. Sylvester Stallone. John Goodman.
Oh my god.
Yeah. They're, what the hell? That's a cast right there.
John Goodman has range.
Hell yeah, he does. So does Rosario Dawson.
I'm sorry, I just feel like I had to put it out there. Just something you wasn't expecting in here is just my appreciation for John Goodman.
John Goodman's brilliant.
And as in this moment, I was thinking of him in Monsters, Inc. in, what's the film?
The Big Lebowski?
Big Lebowski.
The best film. One of the best films of all time.
10 Cloverfield Lane. Like, just in those three. Yeah. The Range. The Flintstones.
Yeah.
Come on. Okay, yeah, sorry. Just a little appreciation for John Goodman right there.
Okay, now let's swiftly move on.
Your number one.
Well, my joint number one with Ratchet and Clank.
Yes.
Pokemon. Pokemon Diamond, to be specific.
Okay.
I love the old ones. I played a lot of Emerald, but Pokemon Diamond on the Nintendo DS came out in 2006. I put hundreds of hours into that game. Like, yeah, as I said, I love all the Pokemon game, but that one's the most nostalgic to me. I used to play it on a daily basis with my next door neighbour, Shaun. Yes, I grew up having the same name as my neighbour, which was always fun, especially as we was basically the same age as well. But like his room was right next to my room, and I remember we'd just like open the window and just shout, just like, Shaun, and he'd come to the window like, oh, what's up? And I'm like, hey, do you want to play Pokemon? And we'd just sit there, just hanging out of our windows, or he'd come over to mine, or I'd go to his, or we'd sit on our doorsteps or whatever, just playing Pokemon together, like collecting all the different Pokemon, trading, battling.
That's wholesome.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's some wholesome shit right there. When we wasn't arguing, obviously, but it's such a good game. It gave me the biggest love for Pokemon more than any of the other things. I loved it.
I played Emerald.
Yeah.
Like, but it was the Game Boy one, but I put it into the bottom of my DS.
Yeah.
But that's the only one I played.
I have played almost all of them other than the newer ones.
I do want to get it on the Nintendo Switch, but it costs so much money.
Yeah. But
so much.
Just nothing will ever compare to Diamond to me. I don't know why. It was, I guess, Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, because they were all essentially the same game. It was so good. But yeah, that's my top two of my best ones: Ratchet and Clank and Pokemon Diamond.
Cool.
And your top two were Monkey Island.
Monkey Island and Animal Crossing.
Okay. All very different games. So do you want to shout your honourable mentions? I have a couple of honourable mentions as well.
Okay, so I'm going to be heavily judged for this by anyone that listens to this. Club Penguin.
Oh God, yep.
It was when they brought it out on the DS, it was so good. Like, you was a detective. There was like this whole like secret agency thing, and I don't even remember what you did in the game. I just remember that I thoroughly enjoyed it. And then if you would go on the online game, they updated it to have all of the stuff from that game. So it was really cool.
Yeah.
Another thing I'm gonna shout out, Nintendogs, just because who didn't love Nintendogs?
Okay.
There was a game I also had, I think it was called Daffy Duck Duck Amok, where the entire game was to torture Daffy Duck. That was it.
Wow.
That was literally it.
That seems
You could
sadistic.
you could just like start tapping him with like your stick. It was on the Nintendo DS, and you would just like tap him in certain body parts, and then it would just like do these different things, like just like different things to him. Just like sometimes you could just like slap him, you would cut him in half, and then the two different halves of him would turn into like little clones, and you would just like keep slicing him
Classic
up.
Looney Tunes stuff.
Yeah. Like, it was just stuff like that. The entire game was just to torture him. It was very weird. Titanfall 2.
Oh yeah? Titanfall 2 is a good game. I really enjoyed that.
I enjoyed just, like, the campaign. Like, it was just fun.
Yeah.
Like, it was a pretty easy campaign to go through.
Not that long.
Yeah, not long. And the online system for it, it's just pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, while you're mentioning that as well, Destiny 2. Destiny 2's good game. I enjoyed that as well.
I haven't played it. I might play it at some point.
It's way too big now.
Yeah, it takes up too much space.
Yeah, because it's ridiculous, and you have to download all of the DLC, even if you don't have the DLC. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
Like, you're playing a 20 gig game, but it's 80 gig. It's ridiculous.
And my final...
Sort that shit out.
my final honourable mention is Borderlands 2.
Yeah.
Because we have basically just finished it.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say finished. We've still got
Yeah,
all
we've
of the
got like
extra
loads
stuff.
of DLC, yeah, but it's really good. Like, I like all of the fact that there are loads of different characters, that the story's really big.
It's funny.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
But it's still got the whole first-person shooter thing going on with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all of mine.
Are they all yours?
That's all of them.
Okay. I got Super Mario Galaxy. Super Mario Galaxy is a brilliant game. Played it on the Wii.
I barely played that one.
It was
only
hard.
It only came out on the Wii.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
That was I think one of my favourite Wii games. I played it a lot. It was really good. I haven't played the second one, though.
Shout out to Mario Kart, though.
That is also one of my shout-outs I was going to do. Yeah, obviously Mario Kart. The newest one on the Switch, especially, is really good.
Yeah, it is really fun.
And obviously in the arcade. You can never beat it actually playing it in an arcade with an actual, like, steering wheel and everything. It's a good
First
shit
thing
right
I'm
there.
going to do after lockdown.
What else? I mentioned Minecraft earlier, didn't I?
Yep.
Well, Minecraft's great. Stellaris is also another good game that I've
Yeah.
put a lot of hours into recently. Yeah, there's probably lots more that I'm forgetting or missing out on, but they're the main ones that I think have had the biggest impact on me anyway.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I feel like some of them you can tell. Like, specifically with Ratchet and Clank, I feel like I could just, like, after playing Ratchet and Clank, I can then look at
The
you
kind
and
of
be like,
humour.
ah, yes.
Yep, I get that.
I feel like mine do say a lot about me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. None of them, they're all really easy, simple, not really that hard at all.
Thanks. Nice to know how you think of me.
Well, I mean, they are. I'm just looking
Yeah.
over it. It's like Stardew Valley, okay? Just basically real life. Animal Crossing, basically real life. Simpsons Hen Run, sure, basically real life.
Yeah, pretty much.
Curse of Monkey Island, basically real life. Club Penguin.
Okay, Club Penguin was great, okay?
Alright then.
Okay, I have a would you rather for you.
Okay, what's it this week?
Would you rather be given a lifetime supply of food or a lifetime supply of, or like have a basically unlimited supply of books?
Food.
See,
Wait, no, hang on. Do I get to choose what the lifetime supply of food is? Like, is it literally any food unlimited
yeah,
forever, and literally any books unlimited forever?
Yeah.
Then food, hands down.
fair enough. I did think it was going to be like that simple when I picked this one for you, but I was like, I know how much you enjoy books.
Yeah, but
And I feel like the limitation is the fact that they're not free.
if I never have to pay for food in my life, ever, I could buy every book I ever have the time to read.
That's true.
Easily.
I feel like,
And I would never be like, oh no, I really want this food, but I can't have it. I could just magic it into my freaking hand there and then. Any food that I want. That's the dream. I wouldn't ever have to work a day in my life. I could live on a park bench if I wouldn't even have to. I could just sell it. Sell the delicious food from all around the world to people.
see, I feel like, no, I would put
that
that
a
as like
loophole?
a limit. Where
Okay.
you're like, you're not allowed to give away the food.
Either way,
It's just, yeah.
It would be
That's
worth
fair.
it.
I can agree with you there.
I could live in a van and have any food that I want unlimited for me for the rest of my life. Sounds brilliant.
That's fair.
My main reason for wanting to travel the world is just to try all the different foods.
Yeah.
It saved me loads of money.
Yeah, I thought I'd go for that one. It felt like a pretty easy one,
What's
but I
your
didn't know
one? What's your answer?
Food.
Oh, so it's a simple one.
Yeah, it was pretty simple, but I just thought, yeah, but you never know.
No.
I thought I might just get a bit of a different answer.
Doesn't matter how much you love books. Your answer's wrong if you're going to say books over food. Come on.
I feel like my mum would, but that's just because my mum doesn't really eat. And my mum likes reading.
I like reading.
Like, yeah, but I just know I've seen my mum get lost in books before. Shout out to my mum.
Again.
But just, yeah.
We know you're listening. You listen to all of the podcasts.
Go on, mum.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I've seen my mum get lost in books to the point where you go, hey, mum, and we just be there for like 5 minutes going, mum, and then just like poke her in the eye, and she'd be like, what? I'd be like, I've been talking to you for 10 minutes. She'd be like, oh, what do you want? And then not listen to whatever you wanted to ask for because she'd start reading again. It'd be great.
Okay, that's another As Yet Untitled podcast wrapped and done.
Yeah.
We don't have a topic for next week yet.
We're going to get there.
We'll find one. Send us suggestions of what you want us to talk about in future episodes. Probably the next episode or any of the ones to come. We're going to keep doing this as long as you guys keep listening. Tell your friends about us. But make sure, comment underneath the YouTube video. Even if you just see the link on Facebook or wherever else, go onto the YouTube video, comment underneath, because that's where we'll be guaranteed to see it, and comment any of the things you want us to discuss or rank or argue about, or anything you just want to hear us chat shit about for a little while, basically. And yeah, if those of you that are friends and family and stuff, like of ours,
Yeah.
not just in general, I think all of you are friends and family of someone, I hope. But if you're friends and family of us, let us know if you want to come on as a guest and when.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Just like, if you are a friend, please come join us. Talk with us.
Yeah. Obviously, when, Corona stops killing everyone as much, it'll be a lot easier to do. Because
Damn beer.
I like the feeling of doing it in the same room. It's more chill, less editing involved.
Yeah, we're that lazy.
Yeah. Obviously. Yeah. That's,
Yeah. We'll speak at you another time.
Peace out.
Bye.